The internet has convinced the entire world that Germany somehow builds everything better. Cars, roads, factories, apparently houses too. At some point, you have to stop believing people and actually watch the evidence yourself. So today, I am putting Germany on trial. People keep telling me Germany built some of the strongest houses in the world. But is that actually true, or is that just the internet exaggerating? Today, we are about to find out. We are watching a German house construction documentary. I've heard people say German houses can stand for generations, that the planning is on another level and everything is done with ridiculous precision. But honestly, I don't know if that's just reputation or something that we're actually going to see. Enough talking, let's find out why German construction has such a legendary reputation.
How is a house built? How does that work? We accompanied the complete construction of a typical German single-family home for.
I'm sorry, but that first apartment they showed that they were building, it looked exactly like a castle, like a medieval castle. I don't know if it's just me, but
More than 6 months. We were involved in every important step. From the first floor work to the finished house. In the first part, the earthworks were carried out and the floor slab was cast. Now the masonry work continues. The floor slab has hardened and the bricks are already there.
This is so perfect. Oh my god. Do you see how the floor slab looks? It's so perfect. I've never seen anything like this.
Now it can start with the masonry. The first step, lay bitumen membrane. It protects the walls from rising damp. For the first row of bricks, a cement mortar has to be mixed, which later becomes as hard as concrete. It serves as an underfill to compensate for differences in height of the base plate. Because the stones must all be at exactly the same level. It starts at the corners. A laser checks whether the height is correct. If the first stone sits and is exactly in balance, the next ones are aligned with it. In the other corners it happens the same way. Of course, all dimensions for wall openings, for example for windows and doors, must also be observed. The masons have the floor plan for this. Here on the south side of the house there is already the first special feature, 3 floor-to-ceiling windows. The row of bricks must therefore be interrupted here. Just like on the front for the front door. The first row is.
Okay. I love this amount of precision and this amount of planning they're using. Like, I definitely would get a German to build my first home. Because in my country, the bricklayers are so, oh my god. Let's not even go into that.
Slowly taking shape. The masons work their way from the corners and put stone by stone. But what kind of stone is that exactly, which is installed here?
We do not work with the external wall insulation system, which is widespread here. Instead, our houses use a so-called Puritan stone, so that's a stone made of clay, in which the thermal insulation is integrated in the stone, with hydrophobic mineral wool. So a solid stone, 36.5 centimeters thick, with hydrophobic mineral wool as insulation.
Because like I was watching this, I'm like, what kind of brick is this? Like I've never seen this kind of brick before. And it's like in a pack and they just have to take it out. It's already been made. In my country, it's like they have to build it from scratch with cement at the floor slab, like while making the floor slab, they built it from scratch. So like this is gonna cost a lot of money because this is top tier.
That means best sound insulation and best building physical properties and also the best thermal insulation.
That is cool.
The bricklayers have made the first course and are already on the second row. So-called thin bed mortar now ensures the non-positive connection between the rows of stones. Ideal for energy-efficient building. High load capacity with a very small joint thickness of approximately 1 millimeter.
Wow.
The second row is quickly laid. A barrier film against rising damp comes over it again. The two lower rows of stones form the base of the house, which will later be clad. The walls are now protruding over the base. The masons are making good progress thanks to the large-scale bricks.
Hold on. They don't even use cement after like they put the bricks on. They use whatever that is. It looks like a cloth. It looks like a material. It looks like a lining. I don't know. But that is so cool.
But instead of laying row after row now, they first concentrate on the corners of the outer walls.
I feel so embarrassed watching this. Like the way they're like calculating as they go makes me feel so embarrassed, because over here, these niggas, these guys, they just be putting stuffs and putting stuffs. They don't care. It's like the house will come out so disproportionate, and it's like the parlor is bigger, or it's bigger than the entire rooms in the apartment, or the bathroom is bigger than the entire rooms in the apartment. Like, it's so silly.
Forming the corners has the advantage that you can easily lay out the plumb lines for the next rows of tiles.
Tiles?
The first working day is done. The next morning they continue with the outer walls. The bricklayers place row after row. The windows and lintels are installed. And around noon the bricklayers arrived at the last row on the ground floor.
Like, they're building and it doesn't even look messy. Like, everywhere looks so well kept and in order, and they're building. I wish I could take a video of how they build over here and show you guys so that you can understand my surprise.
Finally, the pink styrofoam formwork is laid for the concrete ceiling. The formwork also serves as insulation and remains on the building after finishing the ceiling. At the end of the second working day, the outer walls of the ground floor are
They're
ready.
already finished with this. Just on the second day.
Day 3. Today the interior walls are created. Here too, a bitumen membrane is placed under the walls to protect against rising damp. The stones are so-called vertical perforated bricks in two different versions.
Wow,
For
these are
comparison,
so
here
perfect.
both on top of each other. The brick with 17.5 centimeters wall thickness for the load-bearing walls and the narrower brick with 11.5 centimeters for the non-load-bearing walls. The floor plan shows where which stone has to be used. The load-bearing walls run right through the house, between the living room, guest room, kitchen, and the utility room, and once along to the load-bearing living room wall, and the non-load-bearing walls run between the kitchen, living room, bathroom and the utility room. The walls are set up here just like the outer walls. Cement mortar under the first row, exact leveling of the first stones with laser, from the second row on, thin bed mortar, laser, spirit level, plumb line and constant checking ensure exact, straight walls. Finished. The inner walls are standing. Now the base gets a diffusion open seal before the cladding is coming.
Wow.
Day 4. The scaffolding comes. The base is clad and the masons set up pillars throughout the house to support the ceiling elements.
And they're almost done, bruh.
The next morning, exactly at 8 a.m., the crane stands for the ceiling elements. The ceiling elements, so-called semi-finished part ceilings, are approximately 6 centimeters thick reinforced concrete slabs, in which part of the necessary reinforcement has already been inserted. They can be laid quickly and flexibly, depending on the size, but then still need to be concreted. For this, the masons insert additional reinforcement bars. Firstly, to optimally connect and consolidate the ceiling with the masonry. Secondly, to join the individual ceiling elements together. This creates a stable, closed concrete ceiling after concreting. Only the access to the stairs remains free and has to be boarded accordingly.
Wow. I wonder how much they pay bricklayers in Germany.
Once all the reinforcement bars have been laid.
That thought just crossed my mind, because over here and in most countries that I've been to, they pay like bricklayers earn like the tiniest fraction of income. It's insane because these guys put a lot of effort into their work, and it's like they pay them chicken change. It's so terrible in certain countries. Like they don't even earn up to, like, let's say like they earn like $1-2 like every day. It's insane, and I'm not even joking. Like,
Everything is connected with wire so that nothing moves during concrete pouring. The ceiling openings for the supply lines, water, heating, electricity which comes to the upper floor also remain free. They get polystyrene covers before
I hope
concreting.
they pay them well here.
Finished.
I hope so.
The concrete for the ceiling can come. A total of approximately 12 cubic meters of concrete flow into the formwork for the approximately 10 by 10 meters ceiling slab. It is important to evenly distribute and prevent air pockets. Therefore, constantly push the concrete back and forth so that the air can escape. The height must of course also be correct and is constantly checked with the laser.
Wow. These guys are obsessed with precision. Wow.
Done. Now the concrete is compacted with a surface vibrator. The surface vibrator directs high-frequency vibrations into the concrete. This increases the flowability of the fresh concrete. Air pockets rise to the surface and can escape.
Hold on, I just noticed these guys are not even much. Like, it's not like a huge amount of people like doing this together. And they're already almost done in like just how many days? Wow. Wow. In the places I've seen, you see like 30 people working on one house, and in a month they are still not done. And there will be so much all working together. Like, make it make sense.
This gives the concrete its perfect, dense consistency. Finished. Now the concrete ceiling has to harden.
Clean. Perfect.
A few days later, the bricklayers start with the upper floor. The construction is the same as on the ground floor. The outer walls are created again with the thermal brick made of Puritan stone with hydrophobized mineral wool. First the corners are created again, then the entire
Every country needs to adopt this system. They need to adopt the way these guys make their bricks. It is such an important and very useful brick to use in your house. And most of the time in places people just use like cement. And cement is not something you can put your life on, can bank your life on. Like it usually would collapse, or like if it gets soaked with water, it would collapse. Like it's very weak. People should use this.
outer walls. However, there are no longer any load-bearing walls inside. All partitions for the master bedroom, dressing room, bathroom, children's room and corridor are built with the narrower, vertically perforated brick with a wall thickness of 11.5 centimeters.
Whoa. Look at this. All in how many
After
days?
4 days, the upper floor is also up.
4.
As a conclusion, only the anchor ring plate is missing.
I was thinking this thing has been going on for like a week. Just 4 days. Oh my god.
For this, the bricklayers have already put a formwork on the top row of bricks, into which reinforcement bars are now being laid. The anchor ring, as the name suggests, runs like a ring around the entire
so
top edge of
clean.
masonry. This reinforced concrete construction gives the wall stability. The anchor ring plate is used to
Wow.
absorb and transfer horizontal tensile forces such as wind, ground.
This is also such a smart way to use cement when building. Again, in places I've seen, they would pack it in a bucket, mix it with sand, and then apply it. So if they're like making like a 3-story building, they're going to be climbing up the stairs and applying, coming downstairs, applying, going back up. And I think that is also what makes the system people use is probably what makes them waste time or like do it really fast.
Vibrations and the roof load itself. If the concrete is filled, it must be compacted again with the surface vibrator.
No wonder they're not up to 20.
The masonry work is now
They have
complete.
a good system that works.
The walls of the house stand. Construction time for the 2 floors, 10 days.
10 days. Wow. All right. Can we talk about what we just watched for a second? I think a lot of people who has never seen a German house being built will just watch this and say, okay, they're just stacking blocks. What is so special about that? But I don't think that's what this documentary was showing at all. What stood out to me wasn't even just the bricks, right? It was how little room they seemed to leave for we're gonna fix it later. There were so many moments where they stopped to check alignment, measurement, positioning, and if something wasn't right, they corrected it before moving on. That might not be the most exciting thing to watch, but that's probably the difference between a house that is still standing comfortably in 50 years and one that is constantly asking for repairs. And here's something that actually surprised me. So I did a bit of reading before making this video, and apparently in Germany, you can't just wake up one morning and then decide, I want to build a house. Building project has to comply with state building regulations, and the inspection happens at different stages of construction before moving forward, before you can even move forward. The exact rules varies by state, but the process generally is much more regulated than many people realize. So while I was watching this documentary, it suddenly made sense why the builders looked so methodical. It's not just about doing a good job, it's about doing a good job that can actually pass inspection and also meet strict standards. But let me play devil's advocate for a second. I also found myself wondering whether all of this precision comes with a downside. Doesn't this all make a house significantly more expensive? Doesn't it slow projects down? Is this why a lot of people in Germany don't own houses? Because if the answer is yes, then the question isn't whether Germany builds better houses. The real question is society willing to pay the price for quality? That is a completely different conversation, because everyone says they want quality until quality takes longer or costs more. Then suddenly people start saying, that's good enough. And I think this documentary quietly exposes that trade-off. Another thing I couldn't stop thinking about was the choice of material. Germany is said to have a long tradition of using masonry construction, using blocks and bricks rather than timber framing that is common in most places like the United States. Masonry homes generally offer more advantages in durability, sound insulation, and thermal mass, which makes sense because Germans hate noise. Although it's said that they can also take longer to build and can cost more upfront. Overall, I genuinely enjoyed this one, not because it convinced me that Germany is magically better than everyone else, but because it gave me a better understanding on why German construction has earned such a strong reputation over the years. Now, I'm even more curious to see the next stages of this build, because we've only seen the walls go up. I want to see how they handle insulation, roofing, services, finishing, all the things that people never get to see. And to all my German viewers, please don't let me leave this video smarter but still ignorant. So please tell me something this documentary didn't show, and what's one thing about building a house in Germany that foreigners almost never know? Is there a hidden cost, a crazy regulation, a building tradition aside the one that was shown in the documentary? Feel free to drop them all in the comment section. Until next time, take care and thank you so much for watching.